We'll give folks a couple more minutes, as well as myself, because I'm a one-man show here tonight, allowing people into the meeting as well as presenting. So just maybe another minute or two, and then we'll get started. All right, with that, we'll start the evening festivities. My name's Eric McWilliams. I'm with Bowler Engineering. I'm here to present the project known as the Village at Little Patuxent. It's located in Gambrels. If you don't mind, there's a couple more people coming in, but please put your email and name into the comments. That way we can make sure we get the information and the meeting minutes back to you in a timely manner. Greatly appreciate the opportunity to appear before you today. The project team is represented by the architect and developer of Green Street Housing, Chase Powell and Tom Ade. The developer's representative, Tim Horner, is also here today. The site's located at the northwest side of Crane Highway between the Crofton Go-Kart Raceway and the Gambrels Veterinary Center. It consists of 3 parcels for a total of approximately 5 acres. The current properties are two single-family homes in the front, and then behind that is a contractor's yard. And I'll share kind of an aerial to show you what the property looks like today. So the parcel lines are not on this aerial, but they basically start here on Crane Highway, cut down to the edge. The property cuts along the back here. There's a little bit of the forest, but not much on the property, and then it comes down this tree line here. It's currently zone C3, and there's one entrance located on Crane Highway at this location. The proposed site continues to utilize that same entrance location, more or less. It consists of a 78-unit, 4-story apartments for the elderly building. a 10,000 square foot daycare, and a 2,400 square foot fast food. We're proposing, as I said, that one entrance along Crane Highway. And the sites with these three users could be subdivided or has a potentiality for subdivision or condoed into 3 lots. There's a small quantity of forest in the rear, the majority of which will be saved. And there are 2 specimen trees on site. There's one in this back corner and there's one right about this location. The one in this location is in poor condition, and we will request it to be removed. Public water and sewer will be extended from the site. Currently both utilities are located in Honey Locust Drive, and they'll be extended into the site for the proposed uses. Stormwater management will be spread throughout the site, in ESD to the MEP. This is the low end. Actually, the site kind of has a high point. So, you know, it rolls off this way and it rolls off here towards Crane Highway. We have a couple of facilities proposed out there. We'll probably add, you know, a few more along the buffers in this area here as well. Perhaps a couple here along the daycare, here along on the backside of the apartment structure, and in these 2 islands in the parking area for the apartments. We're also looking into infiltration, and currently the stormwater concept design is being prepared for submission to the county within the next month or so. So with that being said, I'd like to show you the architectural rendering of the apartment building. I don't have the fast food or the daycare at this point in time, but this is the structure that they're proposing for the rear of the site, which is the larger building here in the rear. With that being said, I'll relinquish the floor if you have any questions. Don't make it too easy on me. Right?
Hi, Eric. This is Alushe Oni. I'm a resident at the Enclave at Wall right across from this proposed development. Looking at the website and the documents that were sent over to our neighborhood, we did see there was a plan for, I guess, a streetway from Honey Locust into the complex. Is that still planned, or is that kind of have been ruled out?
This concept at this point in time does not have a connection into Honey Locust. We were aware that it's Honey Locust is a private street that's controlled by the homeowners association. So although we do, yeah, there is that potential for a connection. There's none proposed at this point in time.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else or any thoughts? I will say, in addition to the forest, there are no other environmental concerns out on this site. No wetlands, no streams, stream buffers, etc.
How you doing? Can you hear me?
I can, yes.
Sorry, my name is Mike Sarjeski. I'm the president of the Enclave HOA, and I appreciate that this plan doesn't involve entering our community. One question I do have is currently the property does have drainage issues onto our community. So I just want to make sure that those are going to be addressed properly, because it does sit up higher than the community, and we have quite a bit of washout from that current community at this point, from that current site.
From that current site. Well, generally what I can say with stormwater management is that, you know, the way the regulations are and the way we'll design it is that there'll be no additional runoff to current than what's there currently. We will look to see, you know, what we can tie in to, perhaps if say there's as we treat the water, as opposed to dumping it back into the same location, perhaps we could work with your community in placing that water directly into your storm drain system. So I'm sure when this facility or this community was designed, there were storm drains, and it took into consideration the drainage from the site. But we can work with you guys to direct that water so it doesn't flood out your property.
Okay, yeah, and I would say a little bit more, and something I'm just adding to it, is our community was designed with very few storm drains. Most of the stormwater management in the community is done through ground level filtration, and so that I just know that I don't know that necessarily our stormwater management was designed to also incorporate a whole nother property, if that makes sense to you. That's just, go ahead.
Yeah, it should have at least had looked into water that was off-site drainage that was running onto your property.
Okay.
And it should have been conveyed or channeled in some manner.
Okay.
But we'll look at those documents, your original construction documents. We just got some of them, and we'll see what we can do just to make sure that you know, the water is conveyed properly, and of course that there's no increase in the drainage from our site to your site. Marcia?
Yeah. I'm curious about Marcia Perry speaking. I'm curious about who you're marketing to or who you intend to market to with this. And also an ancillary question to that about, and I, of course, could go on for the next hour with my questions about your stormwater management plan, but forgetting that for now, in terms of who you're marketing to and what is your proximity and relationship to the Capitol Raceway as a neighbor of yours, and how does that impact what your plans are? The reopening of that, which has just happened.
Marcia, I think in terms of marketing, that's out of my bailiwick, but I can.
I figured it was, but I thought I'd ask.
I
figured maybe
ask,
you overheard something at some planning meeting at some point, maybe designed, considering who you'd be marketing it to. Yeah.
Tom or Tim may be able to answer that question.
So I wait for Tom or Tim. Okay. Any comments as a design person about your proximity to the noise level at Capitol Raceway, or does that feed into your planning at all?
Now, I'll speak to that as well. As to the noise study will be conducted following HUD guidelines, and any recommended required mediation and remediation associated with the noise levels will be built into the design plans.
Okay.
As it relates to who we're marketing to, it'll be 78 apartment units, 1 and 2 bedroom apartments. The apartments will serve seniors making less than or equal to 60% of the area median income. So 1, maximum 2 occupant households with age restrictions of 62 and older for the primary resident.
Do you have any idea at this point what the area's median income is?
I can answer the question as to what 60% of the area median income is.
Right.
Give me a couple of minutes. We'll continue
Okay.
the
all right,
questions,
okay,
and I'll answer that in a few.
thanks, thank you.
I do have one question for the homeowners association. Right now, there's no intention to connect through private roads. Would there be interest to connecting pedestrian access through the property? I think maybe
I
interest is
guess,
the right word, but resistance to pedestrian access.
So I guess that question is for me. So I can tell you from first glance, from comments that I got when this mailer went out, there would be resistance, but that's my first glance. I'm more than welcome to survey the community and ask them. I just know when the initial flyer went out and there was our community went onto your website or went on the Boulder's website. It was, let me just say, I got too many calls that day. It was pretty, I almost resigned as the president. So, but I'm more than welcome to survey the community about pedestrian access.
Well, why don't we hold back on a survey of that type? But most importantly here, I want you to know, and my name and email address has already been posted into the chat. We intend to be your neighbor and intend to be a good neighbor. And with that, I think we should expect a lot of correspondence and coordination, collaboration as we move forward. And so know that there's a willing person on the other side of that tall fence. Well, I will be there on the other side of that tall fence. But anyway, I'm here and you've got my information. So look forward to working with you.
And I really do appreciate that.
Hi, real quick, I have a question. Thank you. My name is Andrew Curry. I live at the Enclave at Wall Chapel. Just a couple of questions. How tall is the proposed apartment building going to be? How many stories?
It's going to be 4 stories.
Okay. Go ahead, please. I'm sorry.
The exact height, that might be a Tom or Chase question.
Okay. All right. I just have one more question. Looking at the plat, I wasn't able to figure out exactly, but what's the distance between the sort of the edge of where the building is? I guess the northernmost side of the building, proposed building, north is in the cardinal direction of north. The distance between there to the border of the property that's being developed, essentially to where our 2 properties, the HOA and the development property, are adjoint. Do you know what that distance is going to be? At a glance, ballpark, that's fine.
Yeah, it's definitely over 25 feet is the setback, and there's approximately about 4 feet beyond that.
Okay.
So I would say 28, 29 feet.
Okay.
I can get you an exact number if you give me a minute here, but.
Eric, take your time while you're doing that. I'll take you off the hot seat for a moment. To come back to the question relating to area median income. So the project will serve, as I mentioned, up to 60% of the area median income. Rents will be made affordable for family or for households making less than or equal to that. A 1-person household at 60% of the area median income is $44,160. A 2-person household is $50,460, and a 3-person household is $56,760. The maximum rents that would be charged on the property serving those income characteristics would be for a 1-bedroom at $1,182, and 1419 based on 2021 income limits.
Or, and the distance I have is 30 feet.
Thank you.
With regard to the building height, we're looking at about 38 to 40 feet high.
And there will be a pretty extensive landscape buffer between the two uses as well.
Is there any plans to, at this time, again, sorry, thank you for taking my question. Are there any plans at this time to go into and develop part of the current forest conservation area that's essentially to the west of the property in order to expand it? Or is it just right up to basically where the edge of that forest conservation area is?
Are you saying on the, what is it, the Porzillo property? To the rear?
Well, I'm not sure what it's, I mean, I'm thinking of, you know, if the new development is south of the Enclave HOA property, then to the west of there is, from what I can tell, is forest conservation area. And then forest retention area, I'm not sure what the official name is. And then there looks like there's a private road that goes back there for several of the homes back there. Yeah, so I guess the question is, you know, where is that, you know, what are the plans, I guess, for that? Because there's going to be a road with some homes back there. I'm not sure if, you know.
So I'm gonna share my screen again just to make sure we're on the same page.
Okay, all right, I think it'd be good. I think I might be confused here, my bad.
So I believe are you talking about this area back in here?
Yes, that's correct. And that road that goes from the lower right corner up into that area there.
This here?
Yeah, I guess that road is, I mean, I guess the apartment building is, you know, planned to be essentially in that right there. Yeah, where that mouse is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes. Yeah. So from our property, there's very little forest on it. And some of this, even like there's some items like these structures that happen to be you know, pushed back a little bit into the adjacent property, which that'll be rectified or remedied once the development has moved through. All this forest is on somebody else's ground. I don't know if it's forest conservation or just forest, right? The forest conservation would be if they placed it into an easement, they went through the county process and recorded some sort of restriction on that property. So, but either way, it's not ours. It's not part of our project, and we really won't touch it at all. What we will do is we're going to add to it. We're going to add a 35 to 40 foot strip along the back here of new forest to meet our obligation on site.
Okay.
So if anything, it'll be expanded a little bit by the time we're done.
Okay, so if I, just to confirm, and this would be my sort of, you know, final question about this topic, is that if I may annotate real quick on the screen, essentially like this land here and then going sort of up this way is not targeted for any sort of development basically as part of this project?
It is not. It is
Okay.
not. That's
All right.
correct. Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, and Andrew, just to be clear, this is Tim speaking. I'm one of the developers. That's not our property even back there, so we have no intent to touch that.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep, all right, thank you very much, yes.
no problem.
If it's okay, there is one question posted in the chat. I'm not sure if it was answered though. It was about sound level monitoring.
Yeah, the sound level, the sound noise studies will be conducted per HUD's guidance for multifamily housing.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And whatever recommendations, mediations, mitigations are required, recommended will be brought into the construction design of the project.
All right, thank you.
question?
Sure, Marcia.
Yeah, is there any, I apologize, I came in about 3 minutes late, but in the beginning, and maybe you said so, but can you tell us where else in Anne Arundel County you have developed a similar project? Or what your experience is at developing this kind of a setup?
So that would be, I believe, a Tom question for
I'm sorry,
development.
Tom is who? Tom is,
So Tom Aid with Green Street Housing.
okay, Green Street Housing. Okay, where
Uh,
else has Green Street Housing built in Anne Arundel County or? where-
We have not built in Anne Arundel County. We have built mixed use communities. One recent completion that is a mixed use community. It's a family site with commercial and apartments, senior apartments to be built next year, more apartments to be built after that.
Where is that?
in Graysonville, Maryland.
Graysonville.
Yep, it's called the Village at Slippery Hill. Our website.
Village at Slippery Hill? Okay.
Village at Slippery Hill, yes.
Okay, Village at Slippery Hill, okay.
Yep.
And that's the closest to here, and how old is that project?
2 years, 1
2
year.
years.
But
So
we
you
leased
guys
up-
are kind of new at this then, right?
No, Green Street's been developing affordable housing for 16 years.
16 years, okay, Green Street, okay. And do you have does Green Street have a website that I can look at someplace?
Sure do, greenstreethousing.com.
Okay, all right, thank you for that.
Yep, we've
Okay.
got a listing of our portfolio. We've got 15 projects spread across Maryland, Delaware, and Virginia. 11 ongoing projects in the development phase. We've been very active in Maryland in the last 10 years.
And so have I been active in Maryland for a little bit more than 10 years, but, okay, so I'm wondering what your time frame is for this.
So it is Anne Arundel County. I've been doing engineering work in Anne Arundel County for about 20 years.
Okay.
And then this project's going to take about 2 years to get through.
I'm sorry, how many years?
About 2 years to get through approvals.
Really?
Mhm.
Well, you must know somebody I don't know then, okay. Approvals in 2 years, really? Wow, interesting. How does it fit into the county's 20-year master plan?
This particular project,
Yes,
Marcia, I'd have to go back and look, but it is zoned appropriately. So the master plan does cover that. You know, the master plan is the template, and then the zoning follows. So
Yeah, right.
this area and this corridor has been zoned for this density of development for quite
it's
some
C3.
time.
Did I understand you correctly? It's C3?
Yes, yep.
Yeah, okay, C3. So do you have any intention to change that with county council action or any, is that in the
We
plans at
do
all? or-
not. We do
You do
not.
not.
Yep.
Okay.
Everything that we're proposing here is can be done within the C3 district.
Okay, okay. And tell me what you know about access to, I'm assuming that's Piney Orchard School District, though I'm not certain of that, but what do you know about school access?
So with this development, because of its nature, we don't anticipate any school impacts. I saw David Plott jumped on as well. He's the attorney, but with the housing for, you know, the elderly, older folks, it's not necessarily going to increase or add to the school.
But you do have 3-bedroom apartments, right? Did I hear that correctly?
No, we have 1 and 2 bedroom apartments.
Okay, so my notes already are lying to me then. All right, that's okay. Okay, so you have 1 and 2 bedrooms. Okay.
And Marcia,
Studies, yeah,
this is, it's David Plott. Just a couple comments. Well, first,
David.
under the school adequacy of public facilities requirements, you know, age restricted housing is exempted from school APF and the rest of it's commercial. So it will be tested for other adequate public facility requirements in terms of roads, water, sewer, and all those items. Also, Plan 2040 is really encouraging the recently adopted general development plan. affordable housing, because there's such a great need for it in the county. And as Eric was saying, it's consistently zoned C3 already, which, all the uses are allowed. They don't require a special exception or any rezoning or anything like that. They're of right uses. So it's fitting into the Plan 2040 recommendations for affordable housing, and the commercial component is, fitting into the proposals also for mixed use, because the idea is that then you have people in proximity to services and housing. So the 2-year comment is, Anne Arundel County is a very rigorous review process in my experience. And even for an upright project, you still have to go through the the grinder mill.
Those are your words, not mine. Okay, David.
Well, from my experience, maybe not as long as yours, but my 30-some years of doing
Well, at
this.
least I still have my hair, David. Okay.
Well, that's
so-
congratulations on that.
What-
But mine is just as gray as yours, Marcia. So
okay.
I just have less of it. Okay.
I'm sorry, and I promise to shut up after this, although Pat Hooker probably doesn't believe I will, but do you have, just one question to you, David, and then I promise to try to shut up. I saw such a quick look at this thing when it was flashed in the beginning. What kind of a recreation area are you planning?
Well, that would be a question for Eric in terms of what the layout and what the code requirements are in terms of.
Eric, you bounced it to other people. They're backing it back to you, so look out. He's asleep, I think, Dave.
No, he's running the technology too.
Oh,
He's the
sorry.
IT person, plus the engineer,
okay.
plus the moderator, and he's multi hats,
That's a dangerous combination.
Yeah,
You're doing a great job.
yeah.
Okay.
I apologize if there was a question. I had 2 phones ringing at
No,
the same time.
Eric, I was just asking, is there a planned recreation area on the site? It's not, you don't want to send the kids out to play on Route 3. I just wondered, and Evergreen Road there, I mean, they might have something to say about a few things going on here.
So Marsha, you're being specific to the child care facility, I would think, because the
No, I'm
apartments.
not. No, I'm not at all. I mean, my understanding with the code is you have to provide some recreation, I mean, even with senior housing, do you not?
Not that I'm aware of for senior housing.
Really? People like me have to, whatever. Okay, nothing.
Real
David,
quick,
are you aware of any particular recreational activity that needs to happen for senior housing? I mean, we will have walkways, we will have, we did talk, I mean, it'd be nice to connect into Honey Locust, but obviously that needs to be worked out with the adjacent property. And then, but as far as amenities within the apartment structure or around it, I mean, that would be a Green Street question. Outside, there's no, we wouldn't have playgrounds or tot lots or that sort of thing, other than the child care facility, which will have, play structures for the children that are there.
Interesting. Interesting.
Oh,
Well, we can always have a bus that goes to the Capitol Raceway or to the roller rink or ice rink or whatever.
Well,
Okay.
and we are actually, it's not shown on this exhibit. It kind of evolved over the last week or so, but we are proposing or would like to have a bus stop in the site.
All you need are buses now, right? Okay. Okay.
Sorry, just to follow up on that, what type of, I guess, transit is expected there, or, what type of bus system?
Through ACDS, we've begun a conversation about tying in with the local bus routes.
There is local bus routes.
Yeah, right. What local bus routes?
Yeah.
God,
Where do you get them?
you go to Parole to pick it up.
I have a question.
Yeah, Pat, please.
Okay.
Have you had any discussions with the State Highway Department as to if any mitigations will be needed or what type of mitigations will be needed to add this much density to Maryland Route 3?
So there is currently a traffic study being prepared. And then once we receive that traffic study, that'll be submitted as part of the preliminary plan package, and that'll go to SHA to initiate that conversation.
Okay. And I think you said this, but I think I didn't hear it. Are there any, aside from the one specimen tree, which you think is dying, are there any other modifications that will be needed to build this project?
We do not anticipate any other modifications at this point in time.
How about variances?
No variances.
We wanted to make sure, Marcia, that we complied with the code as best as possible.
Is that Dave saying that?
Tim Horner.
That was
Oh,
Tim.
Tim. Okay, I got you, Tim. Okay.
Yep. Hey,
Tim,
Pat, go ahead again.
yes, Tim, sorry, not as best as possible, as done. I mean, we don't want you to rely with the code as best as possible. We want you to go
Stick
with the
to it.
code.
Yeah, Pat, are you related to Mike Hooker by chance?
I certainly am, and proud to be.
I'm friends with your
Yes, you
son.
should be.
You'll
Yes.
be so pleased to hear that.
Yes, good
But he
guy.
will offer his condolences.
Okay, I'll be sure to tell him that.
Oh, you go right ahead. Love him dearly. Tim Horner.
All right. Any other questions, points of discussion, concerns? Did everybody put their email address and name in the comments, that in the chat comments? That would be appreciated. To make sure we get these minutes back out to you.
There they are.
Eric, just one last question from me. In terms of the actual construction phase, how long is expected for that to take? I know you had mentioned it, 2 years for approvals, but after that, how long are you expecting construction to take based on the plans that you have now?
12 to 16 months. That's assuming all uses are approved and permitted at the same time. Apartment building, site work, pad sites, 12 to 16 months.
All right. Any other questions? I'll stay on for another 5 minutes or so, just to make sure people have time to put their email addresses into the chat. But with that, I'd like to bring the meeting to a close.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank
Thank you, everyone, for coming out.
Right.
Thank you, gentlemen, for taking the time for this meeting. Thank you.
You'll hear from us again.
Looking forward to it. Take care.
Bye-bye. Good night.
Good night.